getting on a plane by yourself and going to China to find a factory to produce the products that you've designed. Like, that's full on, not knowing the language. Like, there's no Google or anything there, was there? Like, social networking?
Nothing.
How did you do it? Because honestly, that just puts a bit of a fear, a good one. But I don't know if I could do that.
It is next level, I'm not gonna lie.
This is an X-ray machine that detects exactly the same thing for like metal buttons, needles and things like that. For example, for some garments have a metal button, so obviously it will go off in that machine over there. However, they have also this type of machine, because it's an X-ray machine, just to kind of check and make sure everything is appropriate and there's nothing untoward in a box before it gets packed away like this. Obviously these aren't my shoes, but just so you have a little representation. How cool is this? So we're here and these have all just been made. This is quality control. So every single piece gets checked by quality control. Look! Okay, so I'm just going to check one of the places that has been made in production. As you can see, height of fashion. It's all got its labels and its tags, and it's a size small. And I will just check the sizing. As you can see over there, one of the production guys is just doing that now. So this is pretty much what they do with each of these before they pack them. And as you can actually see, there's another supplier here is doing exactly that. So every single one gets measured, checked before it gets packed into these lovely little plastic things. So yeah, it's really cool. Like obviously they just check everything. So they check stitching, like for example here. They'll check the zips, and they'll also just check kind of tags and finishings if there's any. So for example, I've got a finishing here on the back of here with one of these. Bear with me, I'll find it. So this is classed as finishing. So again, they will just kind of check, make sure those are okay. Yeah, so it's cool. So this is a sample I'm actually going to take with me and just check the sizing myself and make sure everything's okay with it. And obviously, as you can see, the zips here. So yeah, really cool. It's really exciting to be able to come and see it all in production. Hope you guys like.
I think I'm just that person. Like I said, I'm just a real gung-ho person. I always just go in and go, well, what's the worst that can happen? And if I'm okay with what's the worst that can happen, it was a bit daunting. And yeah, of course, don't get me wrong, it's quite confronting. China's a very confronting place, not just culturally, but just how they run their country and the fact that it's very non-Western. You can't like
you rock up at 6'3", like Lon's going, hi guys.
100%. Like I'm literally like a novelty. I'm a walking novelty no matter where I go. I literally get stopped in the street for pictures. You know, people stop and stare, they film me. It's just so funny, like the difference. And I love my difference in the country, you know, and I hence why I go and try different cultures' foods, and I immerse myself in their culture because I'm new to it and I want to know and experience what it's like for them to live in that country. And I think that's that resonates very well with my manufacturers, and that resonates very well with my account managers when I go over. They're like, you're one of the best travelers. Like, so obviously they deal with all brands around the world, you know, big high network brands, and they're like, nobody else comes and eats the food that we do. And I'm like, well, why not? No, I'm here.
I'm down for some duck's blood.
Exactly. And they love it. They're like, you're such a good traveler now. I'm like, I guess I am, but
it shows that embracing the difference, I truly believe, has got you to where you are, like in business right now. So I know your story. Again, tell me if I'm wrong, was it last year or the year before you had an opportunity to potentially get an investment to help you scale and grow, or you had the pathway of, I'm going to keep hustling late nights.
They're still there.
No, you put what bags look like, but to keep going and put the investment money aside for now. So I know what did you do, and why did you do it, and how did you go through that thought process to go and make that decision?
Yeah, I mean, I'd say that was a really confronting one for me. Actually, was I wasn't expecting it to get an offer for investment, and from one of the biggest conglomerates of this world as well that wanted to invest in my business, which was obviously amazing for me. It gave me the biggest ego boost and just made me recognize, you know, I think at the time I was feeling a bit unstable of like, is this worth it? Is this actually a business that can, you know, grow? Obviously, because of the very first, I mean, I got investment opportunity at 9 months in. You know, 9 months into any business is like, it's like you're still a baby. I was still very much in it. I was still crawling at that stage, you know, and to have that opportunity, I was just mind blown. I just was like, I felt so overwhelmed, which was equally amazing, but it gave me the biggest confidence boost to go, do you know what? Hell yeah. I am the person that's creating this business. It is about me. And I wouldn't be getting this opportunity if I wasn't the one who was actually awesome at business. And that just helped me excel, I think, so much mentally from a perspective of, just confidence and, of uncertainty of going like, what do I want with the business? Of course, I was struggling at 9 months in financially. I was still working like pretty much full time, just with like 4 days a week. And of course, the attraction there was to like take the money. And, and it's hard because I had 50% of people being like, yeah, go for it. Absolutely. Take investment. And then I had 50% of other people going, no, do not do it. Where do I realistically want to be? What do I realistically want from the business? And I had to ask really big questions that I wasn't expecting. And, a lot of that came down to, do I want to give away equity? Do I want to, have complete ownership of the business? Do I want it to be so global? Do I want it to be, and what am I prepared to do to get it to that stage without investment? What does that look like if I took investment? And then what does that mean for my business and my values and my ethos? And where does that take me as a leader? And what does that mean? Quite stressful, I'll be honest. And most people who go into investment have a partnership. They usually have a partner. They usually already have like financial backing in terms of their family. Like I do not come from a financial or a business family at all. I'm like the only entrepreneur in my entire like immediate family. So to even talk to my parents like this, they're like, we can't help you. Like we can't help you.
Now you'll make the right decision.
Right, exactly. And then like everybody that we're speaking to has already had some sort of partner that they could bounce these ideas off of, and I just didn't, and I was having to make what's on my own. So I think that's why it was quite stressful for me. But then obviously made the decision not to take investment. And yeah, it just came down to, I felt like, one, it was too early. Two, I wanted to grow the business organically more so before taking investment, before I gave away equity. And just because it would really change the business significantly. I'd become focused on sales, I'd become focused on money, which I think at that early stage would have been too difficult, and I think it would have probably crashed the business. But equally, some of the results that I would have had to have hit, I think people don't recognize you get investment and it's all fluffy and you have this money. That doesn't exist. It doesn't exist.
Reports, where does it go?
Correct. Reports, you have a board, you have targets to hit, you have a lot of pressure on yourself, and it just changes the model completely. Not entirely, but obviously it changes it, and the dynamics of the business then changes.
For love as well, I suppose. It's because it's now you're looking at all these other things and you have to please other people. So
yeah, for sure. And that's kind of I'm an entrepreneur through and through. It's pretty obvious. And I started a business to not be owned or controlled by anyone, and have make my own decisions, and be in the driving seat the entire time. And it's not to say that I won't take investment. I mean, who knows? I'm starting to get to a point where I might consider it.
You're more mature now, though. Like
for sure, I have more of a clear vision, and I know the business is a lot more established now, and I have a lot more bigger visions now at this stage. Obviously, even in 3 years' time, than what I did at 9 months. And there's a lot more security in the business. There's a lot more confidence in the business, and it's just, I've grown it so significantly from 9 months. Like from my first year to 3 months is pretty phenomenal. I've had like 500% growth, and I'm in a different place, but that's just like, it's still at the same time, I'm not prepared to sort of negotiate or compromise on my values at the moment. I'm not prepared to compromise what I'm building for the cause, for the reasons, and for where I want it to go. If I'm honest, like I've got massive visions for the business to be.
That's my next question. That's my next question, because watching from the sidelines over the last 3 years, it's been like I've seen, and you've supported me on my business as well. You have the highs, the lows, the in-betweens, the team, the not team, the investment money, the not investment money. But what does the future look like or higher fashion.
The future is big. The future is tall female.
Oh, people are exciting.